So we saw Tillana wherein Dimple was performing, and it must have been very, very exhaustive by the time. How many hours do you have to perform for your Arangetram?
The actual performance time is about 2.5 hours. So that makes Tillana even harder because you have to go through the last 2 hours and 15 minutes and you still have to keep up your stamina, you still have to keep up your breath and make sure you still do well. So I think that's probably the hardest part of Tillana, is that you still have to do another dance after everything you've already been through.
So after everything you have already been through, involved in the case of kids, they go to school, then they have their friends, and then after having done everything throughout the weekend, they go for this class. How many years did you learn Bharatanatyam?
I learned about 7.5 years of Bharatanatyam.
And now let us go, if somebody watching you has never seen any Bharatanatyam dance class, how it evolves. You are totally stranger to this art form, and then walk us through the process which made you an accomplished Bharatanatyam dancer.
Well, Bharatanatyam dancing, some people perceive it as, you know, only having the basics. For example, there's called Aramandi, which is the basic posture that you have to maintain throughout most dances, and, you know, just footwork. But being an actual Bharatanatyam dancer takes a lot more. When you start off, you have to understand the amount of work that you need to put into it. So it's not some kind of dance form that can be taken lightly. You have to have a lot of effort, and you need the time and the willingness to do so. So if somebody were watching my DVD, let's say, for Bharatanatyam, they might not understand it. But that's one of the other things that is required, that you should, as a dancer yourself, you need to understand everything you're doing in order to get the expressions out right. So for someone else who's watching, they may not understand it, but the MC in my program has explained everything. So in that sense, it shouldn't be, if you were even slightly versed in dancing, you would catch on to a lot of the movements and the expressions and things like that. As per the actual Arangetram experience, it was 6 months of rigorous training, and a lot of the credit not only goes to me, but it goes to my parents and my Guruji, because I have worked maybe 4 or 5 hours a day just dancing. Sometimes it may go through midnight, 1 o'clock. And we still have to keep on going because we all have a goal that we need to reach, which is performing the Arangetram. So it's a lot of work, but I definitely think it paid off.
So the word paid off, what is the meaning of paid off? We don't know. But what we know is probably it is a sense of satisfying the joy of having done something right the way it should be done, and especially something that is connected to this pure classical, Indian classical dancing art form, Bharatanatyam. Now we go back to Reema this time. Reema, whether we know the intricacies of the dance or not, but we enjoy watching it. So in your case, when you were learning Bharatanatyam for 4 years, what is it that you enjoyed most about this art form?
I enjoyed almost everything about this art form. It was just very unique, and it required a lot of strength, and you had to practice a lot. But in the beginning, I also didn't like it because I didn't want to like have to practice every day and get it right. I was very lazy. But then after I started a few more years, I started liking it more. So I started practicing, and I liked it.
And now, in what way, Dimple, do you think learning Bharatanatyam makes you a good student, or does it take away your focus from your studies?
It definitely does not take away focus from my studies. Actually, it helps me. Doing Bharatanatyam helps you focus your mind, and it helps you, as they say, think outside the box. Because it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4. There's so much intricacy, so many things to remember. So it helps your memory. So for example, in tests, it's a lot of memorizations. So in that sense, it helps me in school. And it helps to keep your focus in one area. So when I am doing my studies, my mind isn't revering, and everything flows the way it should.
And which was your favorite dance in the Arangetram sequence?
My favorite dance was the Varnam, which is the longest item in a Bharatanatyam recital. My Varnam was based on Devi, and the reason why I really liked it was it wasn't just footwork or just expressions. It was a great mix of both, and the meaning of the song and the spirituality that you feel while you're performing the song really appealed to me, so that was my favorite item.
And before we take a look at the Varnam performed by Dimple, let's ask Reema, how did you feel while she was performing Varnam?
I actually enjoyed the Varnam a lot too, because it's the way she performs it, it's not boring. Like everybody watching it just wants to keep on watching her dance. It like grasps the audience attention, so I was very entertained while watching it.
Wonderful. So let's take a look at the Varnam as was performed by Dimple. That was very good, Dimple. It's amazing the way you were in sync with the thought of Devi Bhav while performing Varnam. And now, as a child, you probably do not go that much into the temple, you don't read scriptures, but while you are trained into dancing, does your teacher also tell you a lot about the background of the theme of the dance?
Well, one thing that actually helped me in my dance was that my family is a very religious one. So unlike a lot of other American Indians, in a sense, we do go to the temple a lot. We are very much into our religion. So that helped in my dance. And as per my Guruji, she is a very, very, very spiritual person. And that really helps because not only does she help you understand what you're dancing and help you actually find yourself through the dance, but it also helps in the way she's choreographing, the way she's teaching. So it's very appealing and you want to learn it, and you want to also watch it if you're a viewer.
And while you were dancing the dance that involves the theme of Lord Krishna, you were playing Radhika, the picture that we have here, and probably Krishna was played by Reema there.
Mm-hmm.
And Reema, you have also been the one who is a singer for the Gujarati dance. What is this song that...
I sang Bhodi Re Bharwadan Harine, and it's basically how Dimple, she's so engrossed in Krishna that when she's going to sell the buttermilk, she thinks that she's selling Krishna, and then there's the murli that plays, and all the other people there are like, what is in your pot? And she lets it down, and she actually sees Krishna in her pot. So it's how much she believes in him that he actually appeared in her pot.
Would you like to sing a few lines of this Bholi Re Bharwadan? What is that?
Bharwadan.
Bharwadan meaning? Gwalin.
Shepherd girl.
Okay.
Bhodi Re